Let's be real, you probably thought or were taught that healing would make you softer, smaller, or more palatable. But the truth is, healing actually makes you magnetic. You glow different when you stop begging for crumbs or celebrating the bare minimum. Healing, in whatever capacity that means for you, of course, is actually super, super empowering. Healing for me looked like setting boundaries and not over explaining myself to people anymore once I knew what my worth was. And I think that it came up in a lot of ugly ways when I was not healed, like self-destructive tendencies, overcompensation, burnout. All of those things were very, very prevalent in my life when I was not healed and I didn't feel confident in the woman that I was walking as. There were a lot of things that I have had to address and kind of be honest with myself about that were unhealthy patterns of behavior that I displayed, especially through my early 20s. But setting boundaries was one of the most healing and profound things that I could ever do, especially setting boundaries in like situationships and relationships with men, and anything that confused my worth or kind of like knocked me off my path of like self-confidence and self-worthiness, because I know who I am and I just needed to like step back into that. But every time I hit a wall where I was, falling back into self-destructive patterns, it knocked me right off of that path. But learning how to do things like rest and forgive myself for my mistakes have actually contributed to my journey with myself and healing and just being a better version of myself day in and day out. The channel to all of that stuff was therapy, journaling, shadow work, and finally learning how to just listen to my gut rather than just like stampede my way through life, which I feel like we do a lot when we are trying to adult really hard, but like we have yet to acquire the proper skills to do it correctly. But when you start healing yourself and start actually doing the work, and by the way, the work is done every single day. It's done every single day, and I have plenty of videos on self-discipline. We need to just understand that we're not healing until we get into the mindset of doing the work every single day that it takes to heal from our traumas, from our generational cycles, from our toxic situations, toxic relationships. You're not going to heal from that until you decide to do the work every single day, day in and day out. And there are steps that you take every single day on a daily basis. So that's not what this video is about, but I just want to make it clear that you cannot say, I did a journal prompt yesterday and it's not working. Like, you have to be super consistent and disciplined with yourself so that you can really start to feel the benefits of what it feels like to actually grow and heal and like move on and close certain chapters. But the glow that happens after that, girl, you start walking different, you start dressing different, your style might change. People are going to tell you, you look different, you're like acting different, you smell different. Because you come into your own person, you come into like who you actually are meant to be, and that is just a whole different world. Your face looks lighter, your energy hits different, your jokes are probably funnier. People feel the shift before you can even understand it. And the reason why that happens is because you're actually in the trenches, girl. When you are in the trenches, actually doing the work, doing what it takes to like do the healing, do the thing, it's that whole thing of like you just have your head down and you're working. Even when you're working on yourself, you got your head down and you're working. Sometimes you don't notice that the transformation is beginning to happen, but other people are going to see it. And sometimes other people are not going to like it. Sometimes other people are going to be like, who does this bitch think that she is? Sorry to break it to you, but there are people that exist like that in this world. And if you're doing all the positive things in your life that you can to make yourself a better person and people have that reaction toward you, I'm going to tell you right now, those are not your people. You need to set strict boundaries and keep yourself far away from those types of people while you're healing. But there will be other people that notice it and compliment you. They might start to tell you, you look different, you're speaking different, you just look happy, you look like you're glowing. Like, yeah, that's what healing does. That's what growth does, babe. That's what growth does. But there really is a deeper reason why we want to heal and grow and transform and develop and evolve. Healing teaches you things like how to be seen without asking for permission. And with that, a lot of times comes the respect that you deserve. When you feel safe inside your body and your mind, you start to stop physically like shrinking yourself to fit into rooms that you've outgrown. That's the kind of hot that can't be bought. That's the kind of she's hot that attracts everything that you thought you had to chase. Okay? And being hotter means that you just are going to get what you want, not because of your like physical hotness. I'm talking about the attractiveness that eludes from you when you are just a confident, you just exude that confidence. You walk into a room like you know what you want, you know what you're going, you know what you're getting after, and you came here to get it. That people have to respect that when that type of person walks into the room. So it is really important to understand that if you want to have a glow up, right? If you want to be a better version of yourself, if you want to do things more at the best of your ability, at the fullest, at the highest level of your capacity, if you want to be functioning at the highest level of who you are and who you're meant to be, you really need to do the work. You need to do the work to heal whatever it is that you have inside of you that has not been addressed, that has not been worked on, that has not been confronted. We oftentimes are super, super good liars. We are the best at lying to ourselves. We wear the best masks when we look at ourselves in the mirror. And you know why we're the best at lying to ourselves better than anyone else in the world? Because if we can't lie to ourselves, how are we going to lie to everyone else? You have to be a really good liar to the person you're looking at if you're going to continue to convince the world that you're somebody that you're actually not. So oftentimes this takes a lot of work because you have to confront the things that you were taught and want to unlearn. You have to sit with yourself and say, I don't like that part of me that's ugly. How do we fix it? It's not a walk in the park, and it's not as fun and glamorous as oftentimes we make it out to be. Like, healing takes a lot of work. And sometimes you're not equipped with the tools that it takes to heal yourself. So you have to seek help from other people, and that's okay. There's nothing weak or frail about that. That is a very powerful revelation to have with yourself, and it is actually going to help you way more than you know in the future. And I always think about if I were to have a daughter, or if I were to look at my little sister in the eye and say, like, this is how you move on from this is how we're going to fix this is how we're going to heal you. Can I truthfully look her in the eye and give her that advice if I haven't done it myself? No, probably not. So if you're in your healing era right now or whatever, just know that it is working. Don't quit 5 minutes before your actual glow up, okay? Continue to work on your confidence. Continue to work on your that bitch energy and live in your truth because you deserve it.